Let's double check.
Hi, Internet. Hi, patrons. Wait, no, that was too late.
Is everything look okay? Yeah. It's still going live. It's still going. There you go. The internet's
It's
doing
live
its
to me.
It's still.
The tubes
There
are
we go.
It's still live to me, damn it.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Ahem. Okay. All right. Let's get comfortable here. Try and get right in the line of this fan. Oh yeah. So good.
Yeah, I should turn mine up before I sat down.
Oh boy. Okay. Ahem. Ahem. Are you guys ready to get started?
Oh,
Yeah, because it's getting super warm and I'm getting super sleepy.
Yep. I am struggling here.
I had pizza for dinner today, so I'm fucking ready for the pizza pass out. Thank you very
All right.
much.
I
Yeah,
haven't
let's
made
do
it
it.
to dinner yet.
Yeah, ditto. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear.
Hi!
And the Nymph.
I'm going to derail this for just 1 second. Moon, you mentioned you had pizza before we started. What pizza did you have? From who?
Pepperoni.
From who?
Yeah.
From who?
Yeah.
Oh,
My God, there's like
Some
5
local-
chains.
some local chain.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hi, it's me, the Nim, derailing the podcast.
Hi, it's me, Foodcast.
Hey, by the way, I could have said Five Guys and that would have been absolutely fine.
Right.
Because Five Guys makes really good pizza. Let's divert a little bit more, shall we?
I was going to say, not
For
the 5 guys here, they don't. They make
for
really
the
good
cost
burgers.
to food ratio, Five Guys is one of the best pizzas that's out there.
Five Guys makes pizzas near you?
Not Five Guys.
Okay.
The other one.
I was just like, man,
That's
they
what
are
I was-
testing something hot here, and I
That's what
want
was
to try
saying,
a
like,
Five Guys
Five
pizza.
Guys don't make pizzas
Little
here, but I
Caesars?
would... Oh my
That's
God.
the one. Little
Who's
Caesars.
sponsoring us this week? Little
Imagine
Caesars.
a Five Guys pizza that's like 10
Five Guys
inches
pizza would be
deep.
delicious.
That'd be 50,000 calories per
It
pizza.
would be a pizza on top of a pizza just to contain that.
So good.
That would be like an In-N-Out pizza, which I would also like if I'm honest.
That's right. Man.
You just
If
ruined my world by pulling this thing from existence.
Squashing your hope. If you want to hear topics like this and more, please go support us over at patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones on numbers.
This is prime conversation stuff that usually happens in the Outcast, which is the uncensored and exclusive episode for $2 and up patrons.
I thought we were still doing the precast and almost started swearing.
No, you were into it. Like you were. The market research is very interested in that conversation. No, we had a great conversation this week. We had a lot of a hot back in my day sort of thing. Moon and I probably started it by talking about snowy TV screens and having to define that in the year 2022. And then it sort of continued to some other conversations in the Outcast. The Outcast is really great every week. At the very least, you have the shock value of listening to us swear every week. It is fully uncensored. And it's all the stuff we talk about before we go live. And sometimes stuff we talk about as soon as we start. You also get early access to We Roguelike It. Sure, Moon and I are playing seemingly every roguelike in history, even though 50 of them come out every week, which is making our job very difficult.
Yup.
And early access to Critical Misses. Sure, Moon and I are catching up all the media hits we've missed. Got a real spicy season here for season 16. We watched our first of 2 movies, and that was it was a lot. Season 16, episode 1. I genuinely, you should really watch the movie before you listen to our episode because it's an all-timer on that one.
And if you want to know what that is in advance, check out the production meeting available at patreon.com/E1M1.
Oh my God, the ones are numbers. Look at that marketing. I love it. Yes, that's available for $5 and up subscribers. Patrons. And also, this is per month, not per episode. I know some shows do per episode pricing, but we release like 15 episodes a month. So if you want to pay us $75 a month, I will happily take it and buy some new gear But tell your rich friends. If you're friends with Jeff Bezos, I will take his money. I won't be happy about it, but I will take it. Anyways, like Moon said, patreon.com/E1M1.
That's what's called separating the pay from the payee, is what that is.
That's right.
AKA capitalism.
That's right. All right, Moon. What have you and Louise the cat been playing this past week?
Yeah, perfect timing for her to just like show up and
hi, that's me.
I need love.
I'm in the show.
So 2 games this week, and it's the same 2 I think I talked about last week. Number 1 is Dead by Daylight, because it's Dead by Daylight. I play it frequently.
Right.
They just released Project W DLC, which is not W for win.
Project W.
The Wesker stuff?
Yep. It's
Nice.
W for Wesker.
Gotcha.
And now, when it hits the title screen, it goes, Dead by Daylight.
That is awesome.
Pretty good.
Oh, I hate the fact that you did that, and it's so cool. It's genuinely so cool. Because they got another Resident Evil DLC, of course, they got a whole bunch of cosmetic items in there. You can get Hunk's outfit for Legion, who is my preferred killer.
That's great.
It's really good.
They made Hunk a killer?
Well, Legion is the killer, and Hunk is the guy who runs around with the knife. So
I was going to say, because Hunk is literally titled The Fourth Survivor.
That's great.
But his outfit is like the full SWAT gear that he wears in the game.
Nice.
And because it's Legion, he flips that knife around and catches it, and it's just like, oh crap, that's really good. Like, I can't really be mad about it because it actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But no, it's Dead by Daylight. It's fantastic. I love playing it, and now they seem to have this new system in place where, depending on what their game needs more of, it has a boosted blood points for a specific playlist. So, for example, if there is a bunch of killers on, I'm guessing this is what it is, because like hell, I read the patch notes and the update notes and everything else for that game, because there's one every week and it's 6 essays long. But now, when you're on the title screen, it's like players killer, players survivor, and then it says next to survivor plus 100% blood points.
That's cool. That's really smart.
Because if you need more survivors and you're trying to get people into that playlist, then great, give them bonus blood points, and you know, that's a really smart idea.
If they're doing that on the fly, that's a really smart idea. That would be great.
Changes, because we had a couple
sprays in there too.
This
whole thing is stupid.
We had a couple of matches, like we all played as a group on Friday. I think, whatever. We played as a group and it was like 100% blood points, and then after 2 rounds it was like, oh, plus 50% blood points. And it's like, it's got to be based on the popularity of who's on what right now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a really cool idea.
It's a really smart thing to do. And then every daily I get is killer dailies, which is annoying. So I played a little today as a killer, just so I can get some of those dailies out the way. However, they increased the blood points cap.
Oh, okay.
It used to be 1 million.
Oh, okay.
I have a screenshot of me with 1 million blood points being like, yeah, did it, punks.
Right, I got there.
Now it's 2 million.
Just another 1 million. What's the big deal?
You know what I have to do now, don't you?
I do. I'll be watching your Twitter even closer now.
Because I need to get me a screenshot of that
with
blood points number.
3 crying emojis, just like, I did it. Oh god.
Yeah. And then once I've done it, you know full well they're going to be like, new blood points cap, 3 million blood points.
That's right.
And it's just
50
like,
million. No.
What? I would also, excuse me, I'm guessing, do they add more achievements too every time there's a DLC pack?
Every DLC has new achievements.
Oh, wow.
So at least you're also striving for that, not just the blood points.
Right.
Nope.
Man.
So, generally speaking, the rule of thumb with all of these DLCs, they get 3 new achievements, maybe 4.
Okay.
Usually it's get a good match as the killer using only their 3 killer specific perks.
Oh, okay.
So all killers have 3 perks which are just for them. And then usually I think it's called a merciless victory, which means you have to perform pretty well as that killer to get a merciless victory.
Mm.
So you've got to level them up a little bit, get them to 15, equip all 3 perks, and get a pretty good round.
Okay.
Then it's do the same thing as the Survivors, if there's Survivors DLC, which is escape using their 3 perks.
Oh, okay.
And then usually there is a map associated with it, and the map achievement is always repair 1 specific generator
Mm.
and escape.
Okay. Those are kind of cool, though.
Yeah, and it's always cool because the generator in question is always a nightmare generator.
Okay.
So, for example, they've now split Raccoon City Police Department into 2 different maps as well, because I think it was too big. So they've got East Wing and West Wing now, which is fine. But the achievement for that is to repair the generator in the main lobby.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You can be seen from like 15 different locations in that main lobby while you're trying to repair that Jenny. So it's not an easy one to do.
Right.
In the Saw DLC, it's repair the generator in the bathroom. That bathroom from the first Saw movie.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And the best part of these is normally those generators, like depending on where the generator is placed, between 1 to 4 people can access it because you can only access it on one side. And so if it's against a wall, 3 people can do it because there's left, right, and front. If it's in the middle of nowhere, 4 people can do it because there's left, right, front, and back.
Oh, okay.
If it's against a corner, front and side, so 2 people can do it.
Gotcha.
And usually these achievement-based generators are, hey, only 1 person can work on this at a time.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So they take longer, they're harder to do, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's Dead by Daylight. It's fun. And once my ridiculously expensive upcoming trip is done with, I've got like 6 batches of DLC to play with because I still haven't played as Pinhead or Weird Inky Crow Lady, who...
Right.
Rob pointed out this really cool reference. She is referred to as the artist, and she's a writer, and she uses crows. So it's Edgar Allan Poe,
right?
The artist. I think was it Poe?
Poe's a raven. Yeah.
But there's that, and then there's also the guy who directed The Birds. He was referred to as the artist as well.
Oh, sure.
So it's like 5 different references all linked into one.
That's fun.
She's a nightmare killer too because she fires birds through walls.
Oh, no. No, thanks. Nope. Don't like that.
Dead by Daylight is a great game. You should totally play it. I'm trying to put something together now for playing with one of our community members. Just got to figure out when to do so because I believe there's a pay-per-view tonight, which I have to watch. So that's fun. But no, Dead by Daylight is fun. It's stupid. It's great. I can normally rustle up at least 2 or 3 people to play it, which is always good. Sorry, distracted by a cat.
Sorry. Watching your cat just stretch in that weird way that cats do, where it's like, if that's not comfortable, no, you're happy. Okay, fair enough. Please continue.
My arm is not comfortable, but she is.
No, of course not. Yeah.
So the only other game I played this week is the Punishment game, apparently.
Oh, Saints Row?
Correct. Oh boy. So I can't remember what I talked about last time. Did I talk about the signature abilities on guns and vehicles last time?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, so every gun and every vehicle seems to have a specific vehicle class ability, essentially. Once you've done a certain mission, get 20 double kills, kill 50 of this type of gangster. I'm sorry, Louise, it's way too hot with you in my lap. Once you've done that mission, you unlock the signature ability of that gun/car. So, like the sawn-off shotgun now fires Inferno rounds, which set people on fire, for example. So, really leaning into the Saints Row stuff when you get to that point.
Right.
Where it's like, Yeah, it's a double barrel shotgun, except now it sets people on fire when it hits
Yeah,
them.
I mean, if you
it belches
shoot-
out fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you shoot dragon rounds, it'll
That's
what
set
it is.
something on fire. Oh, is that
Dragon's
what?
Breath rounds.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what it's called.
That's what
Nice.
you usually do to breach doors.
And I think I told you guys about like the hybrid car that one of the main characters uses. That's like a tiny little bug thing.
Yep, with the monster truck wheels. Or something
yes,
like that.
I had it on for the mission. Yes, that I posted a photo of on Twitter. That thing's got crab steering.
Okay.
So the individual wheelbases will turn with you. It's like articulating.
Yeah, so you can go forwards and move left.
Yep.
Right.
Go forwards and move right without actually turning the front direction of your car. It's kind of awesome and weird at the same time.
Yeah.
It says, I think the description for that says it makes parallel parking and changing lanes easier than ever. I didn't realize changing lanes was hard, but okay.
I mean, people can't figure out how blinkers work.
That's fair.
That that's a very good point. It's a very good point. I stand corrected. However, now I'm getting into the stupid special abilities for the vehicles. I just unlocked one of the vehicles' special ability, which is the Too Fast to Too Furious special ability, which is to say it's Ejectocito Cuz.
Great. Love it.
And it literally shoots you into the sky. Like the ceiling shoots off, and then you just go straight into the sky, at which point your character unfolds the wingsuit and just flies away.
That's great.
Nice.
I like that a lot.
It's really good. And the top comes off, and it looks like a convertible now because it doesn't have a top on it, and you can go back to it and use it again and again and again and again. You've got infinite ejecto seats in that thing. And the thing I'm most looking forward to trying is I hit a level. I don't know what number, but I hit a level, and it unlocked while wingsuiting. Because while you're wingsuiting, you can line people up for a Batman-style takedown, where you land on them and take them down as you land on them.
Okay.
Or you can land on the top of cars, like lying on the roof of a car. They'll speed up, and then you can wingsuit off it again, or just steal the car.
That's cool.
I just unlocked the ability to bounce off people while wingsuiting.
Is this turning into Dying Light?
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe.
You just springboard off of the backs of your enemies while kicking them down.
Right.
Possibly. I don't know anymore. That's the scary part. So in the same style as every other Saints Row, it feels like this has got a relatively minimal length story. But in order to progress the story, you do need to do a bunch of the side missions and build your quote-unquote criminal empire. So I think I mentioned last week I just unlocked insurance fraud.
Yep.
Right.
I hadn't done it yet. Now I've done insurance fraud. So the gravity needs to be turned down just a touch while you're doing the ragdoll thing. But otherwise, it's relatively the same. It feels like you land a bit quicker and stuff like that. But it still does the thing where it gives you adrenaline mode.
Oh,
when
right.
you fill the bar, it gives you adrenaline mode. The only difference now is adrenaline mode means that when you land on a car or hit a car, it explodes.
Great. I really like that.
And depending on where you land, it can shoot you forwards, it can shoot you back, or as I like to do, it can shoot you straight into the sky.
Yeah.
So I just become like a human lawn dart trying to land on top of these cars consecutively.
Right.
So insurance fraud is still just as fun. It's fantastic.
That's
Nice.
great.
Do you
I
still
like
catch
that.
on fire? Sorry.
No, I don't think so.
I was like, 'cause I may be thinking of something else, but I thought you could catch on fire after a certain, like once your, I don't know, combo meter went up, so you get a higher combo
Right.
meter or something. Like I said, I could just be pulling that out of something else
Yeah,
too.
I don't
It's been
remember.
forever since I've played any of the
I
Saints Row
wouldn't put it
games.
past. It's not from what I can remember, but I wouldn't put it past the Saints Row game, to be honest. Let's face it.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't know how to broach this subject without sounding like I'm going to be talking down to a segment of the population. I'm not. So I was progressing the story, having a good time, blowing up the forge where the guy makes all of the cars, so on and so forth. The usual Saints Row madness.
Yeah, a normal Tuesday.
And then I started a mission with the nerdy guy, which is a LARP.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard about those. Yeah.
All right. Oh, I just saw that on Twitter this week. And I was just like, yeah, man, maybe I want to play Saints Row because of
So
this.
did you see the photos I posted?
No, I didn't see any pictures. I just saw people describing how the characters interact with each other during the LARPing stuff.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a city-wide LARP.
Yep.
And when you are in LARP mode, all of your guns get switched for LARP guns, which is essentially not cap guns, but like those sucker guns where you used to fire the sucker out and it used to stick to the wall.
Yep.
One of those. You get a crossbow which fires a foam dart. You get a shotgun which fires I'm assuming little BB pellets or whatever.
Right.
But the rule of being in the LARP is you have to stay in character.
Right.
So you are Bosonius, the boss. Bosonius makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And when you first go to take part in it, the nerdy guy who's got the little hybrid car, he's like, okay, we need to get you an outfit. And he's dressed in like rugby pads, American football pads, and like a little cardboard helmet. His car has got souped up monster car wheels on it, basically. Like it's a big thing. And it's got all like cardboard trimming on the edges of it.
Okay.
If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen this photo of me standing in front of this car in my cardboard knight outfit, where it's literally just like a cardboard suit of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone starts talking in old-timey English, like a classical
Barely in
LARP
pursuit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
The mechanics of the game all stay the same. So the thing that tickled me the most was, I think I told you guys, like, to regain health, you need to do that like takedown thing, which is like a special animation to take people down. And they definitely took inspiration from John Wick for that particular like animation, because it'll do the one to the chest, one to the head thing.
Right.
Yes, Boston has the image
on
on
the stream
now of me standing in front of the car, which I forgot has the shark fin on top.
Yeah, it has a cardboard shark fin on the top.
So it's all about like building these bases, and then whoever wins kind of thing. It's really funnily executed and everything like that. But then when you start doing the takedown thing, it does. I'm probably going to get this reference wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does the Kali Ma reference where like he reaches into somebody's chest and rip their heart out.
Right.
And then he goes like this in their hand with
squeezes the heart, right?
Yeah.
with literally nothing in it. But everyone's acting like it's obviously, you're taking part in the LARP, so everyone's acting like they're dying.
Man, that's really good.
It's super well written. It's goofy, stupid, dumb fun. Like you're shooting,
and the fact that it's game wide too. Like if it was just one small mission, I don't think it would be as cool. But the fact that it's the whole city wide is really impressive.
One of the criminal empires I built is my base for the LARP.
Right.
Cool.
Like it's a big building of cardboard and duct tape.
That's great.
Which the mission you get introduced to it, you decide to build your own base, and you have to go steal all the duct tape from the Tapeworms faction because they stole all of the tape.
Man, this makes me really interested in Saints Row. It's like the tone is right.
And while you're shooting the guns, the boss is going pew 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 pow pew.
That's really great. I love that in the Lego movies.
Yeah, the Lego games, it's so good as well.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm sitting there, I finish that mission, so I get back in my regular clothes, and that that base is now in the world for me to go and do the extracurricular activities for it. So at any
That's
point I
cool.
want, I can go do the LARP missions to help that out.
Oh man.
And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm short on cash. I want this specific gun so I can I can start working on the abilities for it because I'm about to do a bunch of martial missions. So I have to kill marshals with these types of guns. It's like, but that gun's 30 grand. So I'm just going to work through the wanted app, which is Uber, except it's killing people for like they're
in the
called
gig
side
economy,
hustles.
am I right?
Yeah, they're literally called side hustles. Like that's what they're referred to as. So it's like a wanted app. So you've got to kill some snitches, steal a car, do whatever. So I pulled it open. I was like, oh, there's a necromancer.
Yeah, you got to try that one.
I was like, okay, why not? So I hit accept. The screen goes black, and I hear a bunch of duct tape sounds, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, where did you think that was gonna go?
And then the screen comes up, and then I'm dressed in my cardboard outfit again.
Oh.
And I go pick up the dead drop phone, and the boss is like, so I hear you got a LARP kill for me to make here.
Oh,
he's
boy.
like, yeah, this necromancer friend of ours, who we were doing this big raid, and they have the ability to raise us all up, but we all died. They were the only person who was alive. And when everything was said and done, they didn't resurrect me. They have the power to resurrect me, but they didn't.
Yeah.
It's because of them I lost my favorite character.
That's really good.
Go teach him a lesson. So you have to go to this graveyard and shoot these dudes dressed in skeleton outfits, like the black leotards with skeletons, right, which are the undead that she's raised up.
Oh, man.
And then you have to eventually kill her. But on the way, the boss says to the person on the phone, and it's one of my favorite lines so far, and it's in classical English, I was like, oh, do not worry. I shall make sure that they feel the pain of re-rolling. And I was like, damn it!
That's really good.
A real good line.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
But did you have to find the necromancer's simulacrum to officially kill them?
Yeah.
No?
I shot them with a foam dart shotgun.
Didn't go hard enough.
Oh. The funny thing is, you kill all of the skeleton people, and then she casts a spell which raises them back from the dead. And the boss is like, "Dude, you could have saved the entire raid party. No wonder everybody hates you." And she's like, "I can only cast it once per day. Thank you very much."
That's really good. I like this.
This game swings hard from one like extreme to the other, and it's just like, this is what I mean when I say I'm getting Saints Row 2 vibes, where it's like sometimes it's deadly serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times it's just like, yeah, I'm killing a necromancer for a LARP because why not?
That's really good.
So man. I started working on my criminal empire and building because part of the storyline is you get a bunch of deeds to empty land. So you choose what you want to build in that empty land. So I built the insurance fraud place first, then I built the food stand or the food restaurant crime syndicate thing, which basically involves you going to steal a whole bunch of food trucks.
Okay.
And basically because that's how people run drugs in the city. They run drugs through the food trucks. That's how they sell it. So individual factions are selling in different types of drugs through different types of food trucks, but they're all super cute, like food trucks with like special things on the top and everything. Okay. I had one which was King Chicken, and it was just a cute little chicken sitting on the front of the truck, but on the side it had King Chicken in a pose on a bed that was suggestive, to say the least.
Okay.
But you steal the truck, you take it back, you get that, you take over that business essentially. So you're going to do that for a whole bunch of the food trucks. That's fine / fun, whatever. You're just driving through the city, as most of these games have in them at some point while getting chased. And I got the nuclear waste cleanup criminal empire.
Okay.
Which is exactly what it sounds like. Or toxic waste, I should say, where it's like, yeah, we We get contracts from big companies to deal with their toxic waste, and the only real way to make money in this game is to totally not do it legally. So here is a big hole in the ground full of water that we're just going to dump this toxic waste into. You just need to go get the trucks and bring them to us.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, well, why do we have to get the trucks? Because they don't want any part of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, they want deniability on us dumping this crap into this reservoir in the ground. So that is the careful driving one, where you have this huge 18-wheeler full of toxic hazardous materials.
Right.
So it's highly volatile, is what they're described as.
Right.
Which is hilarious. Volition, volatile, makes me laugh. And the second you hit something, the back one will pop, start spewing green crap all over the sky. And at that point, you have to drive as fast as you can back to the disposal site before you lose all of the toxic waste.
Man, that's pretty fun.
It's a big, huge open world game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. So there is good and bad throughout. Like, I'm enjoying pretty much most of what I've seen so far. It's not perfect. It's not Saints Row 4 by any stretch of the imagination. But people need to keep in mind, to get to Saints Row 4, you also had to go through 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And 3 was arguably easily the best until you got to 4, which 4 was the best playing, but not the best story, in my opinion. I think 3 had the best story, but didn't play as well as 4.
Yeah.
But what you're looking at in the stream there is the map of the land.
The criminal empire table.
Yes, and then you basically just choose what you build on there. And it costs money to set up, and then it does the old Saints Row thing of once it's set up, it will earn you a certain amount of money every hour. You can increase that money by taking over the zones, by getting rid of like threats or doing collectibles and things like that in that zone. So that's how you build the giant like fort made of cardboard and duct tape. You have to do it from that table.
Right.
I forgot the toxic places. It's called Bright Future Disposal.
They got a guy in a hazmat suit in the middle of green smoke with just a thumbs up.
Right.
And I think the catchphrase is like making the world greener, which is
pretty good.
It's a nice little wave of the hands kind of thing.
Right.
But I should also say that all of the factions have different names for like the LARP thing. We have picked the Sandy Krakens.
Okay.
And the logo is the Saints floret, but the top of the floret at the top is changed into like an octopus head.
That's pretty good.
Such a nice little bit of like graphic in-world design. It's just like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with that.
Pretty good.
Like, it's really well done. Like, as I said, the gameplay is fine. The lines are hit and miss sometimes. I'm having fun with it, but I've still got like 60 hours to go.
That's right.
So I don't know how this is going to be, but so far it's been fun. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a 10 out of 10 game. It's not 3 or 4 by any stretch of the imagination. But again, you had 10 years to build up to that. This is doing good so far. I would put this on par with Saints Row 2 easy, and I love Saints Row 2.
Right.
I'm not saying you should play Saints Row 2. I'm just saying I love it.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. It's stupid. And I will let you know if it jumps the shark, which I hope it does, because that's kind of the point of Saints Row, is to jump the shark.
That's
out
true.
of the water, into the streets, and where it can eat people.
Right. And then you ride the shark.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I got a whole bunch of vehicles now, from tiny little motorbikes to big, huge food trucks to like Bumblebee with huge wheels, so I can just flip it through the mountains whenever I feel like going on a journey. Some of the special abilities on the cars are also just jump. So take me there, please. Give me one of those cars. But no, it's fun. I'm enjoying playing it. I get why people have been having issues with it, but at the same time, it's like, it's an above average game, and I'm fine with playing an above average game. You've seen some of the stuff on my gamer card.
Have you listened to this show before?
Yes, well, that's all I've been playing this week. Nemp, take me away from the Saints. Oh, sorry,
well,
as they were referred to on the news, the Purple Suit Mafia.
yeah. Well, something that I would compare to Saints Row 2 is Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Mm.
I did beat the game this week.
Oh, nice.
Grand total of 91 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh boy.
It's given me a lot to think about because I have played the previous two games. I will say you can play this solo without the other two still. There may just be a handful of moments at the end where you are kind of like, okay, what's that referencing?
Sure.
Like, they totally introduce a character that you're just like, I don't know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you've played the other games.
Right.
And there's like concepts that are being introduced that they explain well by themselves. Like if you hadn't touched anything else, the concepts that they're showing you at the end, they explain well enough. You would understand what's happening without having to touch the other two games. There's probably like I said, 5 minutes altogether that a couple things would go over your head.
Okay.
It's enough that I'm not going to, but I kind of wanted to pick back up Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Oh, sure.
To see, like, the original. I'm talking, like, my Wii
right.
version of the game. Because I know with the Switch remaster, they did add a lot more stuff back into the game that was taken out to make it more in line with the current story.
Oh,
but
okay.
I am curious to see, okay, how much of it was left over in the original, how much of it, did they change over in the remake, and then just to kind of go back into, because they do bring some stuff from that. But other than that, though, I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
There were a couple of villains that felt kind of cringy, not like PC cringy or anything like that.
Yeah, but it's a JRPG though, so
yeah, there was specifically one that annoyed me a lot, where their whole basis for being evil is that they didn't have a choice. But then they run you through but then they run you through like their whole background. It's like, no, no one forced you into this.
Right.
Your situation is because you decided to do this.
You made a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're complaining this entire time that you didn't have a choice. No, you were literally given all of the choices, and this is what you landed on.
Right.
And you are the most annoying villain that I just want to kill. And of course, it's always the whole setup where it's like you have to watch. Almost spilled my water there. You have to watch like their whole background thing so that you can feel sorry for them. It's like, no, I just want to kick you off the edge of the cliff, and never hear from you again.
Yeah, we'll finally take you down, bad guy. When I was 3, Sepia told me, like, oh no,
Jesus. But I will. Once you've beaten the game, you have the option. Obviously, you do your whole save clear, slot. You then have the option of either continuing from that save, which it just dumps you right back in before you beat the final boss, or to do New Game Plus.
Okay.
I would suggest going back into your original save file before doing a New Game Plus, because it sounds like you get to take pretty much everything that isn't story related back with you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There's also things that are not missable in this game. There is a hero class that I somehow completely missed that was literally at the start of the game that I went back to and got that hero class finally.
Oh, that's nice though.
And I could have done that too on the New Game Plus, but it was just shocking that I was like, how did I miss this one lane? And then when I got there, I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to come back to this, and then just completely forgot about it because the map is so huge.
Right.
That just reminds me of like all RPGs and JRPGs whenever you play them, and it's like there's a fork in the road. You go down one side and a cutscene starts, and you're just like, no,
I made the wrong choice.
I was like, this one was probably just. I know I made it because, like I said, once I went back there and figured out where I was supposed to go for this other, it's not even a hidden. It's literally like would have been the third hero class I would have gotten, second or third hero class. And it's just the map. When you look at it, it looks like it ends there. The way that I had lifted
Oh,
the fog,
sure. Right.
so I didn't think there was anything over there. And surprise, there's a whole other area.
Right.
So I went back. I did that. I did some more grinding. There are once you've beaten the game, there are 2 more classes that you can get, and I won't get into those. But you can either do them then, or you can just go into New Game Plus. It doesn't matter. I would suggest just going for them.
Yeah.
It helped doing the hero quest for those, helped also fill in some of the story development as well.
Oh, nice.
And filled in a lot of the WTF moments of that ending.
Right.
So, yes, I will stop talking about the game because I haven't spoiled anything yet. But I enjoyed it, and
Nice.
I am looking forward to see if they do a 4th one or not, and what they plan to do for a 4th one. Just because they seem to end, notwithstanding Gears, it seems like they just do a trilogy, and then they go on a hiatus for a while, and then they come out with a different, I guess, like a
Xeno.
shift. Yeah. So maybe we'll get, I don't know, Xeno Space or Xeno Tree or something.
Right.
You know you want Xeno Mechs.
Yeah,
Dude,
there you go.
The mechs in this game, my God.
They've always had cool mech designs.
Yeah, and they continue that. Like, I really want them to bring mechs back more so than they have in the past.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be there. It was cool that you could transform into like these mini mechs, but I want it to be like the original Xenogears game, where it's like you're in this massive mech and you can feel it.
Right.
Kind of
Here is a
thing.
for real mech. The battle system has changed.
Yeah, you're burning fuel now.
So cool, man.
But yeah, oh my God, I still love these games, as stupid as they can be. So, after this, I went into Recore on the Xbox. This is on Game Pass. This was
wait.
Not
the Recore.
Wait, the Xbox One Recore?
I think so. Yeah,
I
think it said it was Series. I think it said it was Xbox One compatible or updated or whatever.
This is sort of an infamous game.
Boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember much about this. I remember hearing about it and being like, okay, this is on my list of games to eventually check out. But then it just kept getting put on the back burner, and now I'm playing it on my Series X, and I, like you were just saying, I remember there being some sort of hubbub about it.
Like lots of performance issues, especially when it first came out.
Yeah, and so what was it? It came out in 2016 originally, and then they re-released like a definitive edition or something like that in 2017, which apparently fixed a lot of the issues.
Oh, okay.
I am playing it now, and it's playing fine.
Yeah.
I'm kind of actually really enjoying. I don't know how much I'll put into it right now because I picked a really poor time to decide to pick a back burner game to get into.
Right. I always heard that it was fine, but like the performance issues and how kind of B game it felt was kind of a rough combination.
I was say right now, the story so far. You are a person that you play as a woman. I don't remember her name. I'm still really new into it, and you only play as one character. There's like nobody else around, so you don't hear her name a whole lot. I think it's like Judith or Judy or something. But so you wake up from being in like cryo sleep and forever, and you're on like this messed up, desolate world that it seems like you were supposed to be terraforming.
Okay.
But something has gone horribly wrong, and you've woken up like 96 years after you were supposed to have originally woken up on this planet.
I like that.
Yeah. So when you start out, you have a gun, and so far I have 2 versions of this gun. It's a rifle that you're not collecting ammo for. You basically have like a bar underneath it, and you keep shooting until the bar goes away. You stop shooting, and the bar refills itself. It doesn't use resources or anything.
Sure.
But it's basically like a rifle. You hold it down, it keeps shooting until it runs out, or you can hold down LB to charge shots, and that'll do bigger damage, and it can knock out shields on some of the different enemies that you come across. All the enemies are color-coded.
Okay.
You start to get color-coded weapons. So you start out with a white one, which does normal damage against everything. you have a red weapon, and follow me on this. If you shoot a red enemy with the red weapon, it does more damage than the white weapon. Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
You can also
Oh.
do this thing where you get their health down to a certain point. You see they've all got a health gauge above them, but there's like these two little arrows, like little triangles on their health gauge. If you get their health down to that point, you can shoot out a grappling hook, which grabs their core, and then you're playing a fishing mini game. Where
all
you are
right. Now you got my
you are
attention.
pulling your line to rip out their core, but if the line turns red, you start getting a flashing warning sign. If you keep going, your line will break, and you'll have to redo it again.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
It took me a second to figure out what was happening.
Right.
Because now what I do, when I was first doing it, my son was standing here making fun of me about it because it would go red, and then I would try to like lay off of it a little bit, like you would do. You don't just release it, you let it go a little bit, but it was still going red, and then it snapped the line, and that happened a couple of times. And then finally I was like, all right, screw it, whatever. So I just let go of the analog stick, and that changed. It got rid of the red, and then I just yanked on it back, and it just pulled out just fine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking that is what you're supposed to do, is you just hold it down until it starts turning red, you let it go, and then you just pull it back down again. There's no like fanning of it. But you also have, because when you are doing this, you have to be careful about what the other enemies are doing, because if you get attacked, it automatically breaks the core no matter what. And that is where your little core buddy bot thing comes in. You start out the game with like this dog core bot thing. Okay. I think they are called core bots, but and it will attack and it will help defend you and all this stuff. And it also has its own special moves where if like you hold down Y, it will do like this burst attack where it'll charge something.
Okay.
Normally that'll keep other enemies, kind of tied up and focused on it while you're trying to do what you're doing. So it's kind of got your back. You can also upgrade everything on these things. You can get a brand new armor set. Like my dog, I think it's called Max, but my dog thing is like half red armor with white armor bits because I happen to have some materials to make the white armor, which is more powerful than the red armor. And I also picked up enough random loot in the game that I can upgrade its cores. So now I can upgrade its individual strength, defense, and agility stats.
Oh, okay.
So I maxed those out because I picked up a lot of things because it's an open world game as well.
Okay.
So basically the rundown with this is that you go into an area, you get this special little core thing, and it lets you into dungeons. You go into the dungeons, you get special items for beating the dungeons. They all have specific levels that you have to be in. The levels don't really seem to do anything so far that I can tell. But like I said, I'm still very early. So you're running around, you're doing some platforming, you have a double jump, you have an air dash that you can use, or even just a regular floor dash that you can use. And in this respect, it feels very Ratchet and Clank because you're blowing up boxes and you have like parts flying into you. And then when you're jumping and hovering and stuff, you've got like the little indicator below you showing where you're going to land on a platform or if you're even going to land on a platform. All we're kind of missing is just the little guardrails to grind on, and it would feel like a Ratchet and Clank game.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Just a lot of customization and being able to just pick up a bunch of loot. I don't know what most of this does. I'm just grabbing it because it's there.
Yeah.
And then, later on you find out. Yeah, you go back to your little sandcrawler thing. It dumps all of your inventory into a pool. So you don't have to keep doing it yourself. And there's no item management because the only thing you need the items for is to craft blueprints. So that way you can craft armor pieces so that you can equip them on, whatever. So you have an inventory just so that you can see what you've collected, basically. Other than that, you don't have to mess with it whatsoever. But it's been a lot of fun. My son has told me that there's a couple time puzzles that you get to mess with, which involves some platforming. He had an issue with one of them where he was like 2 seconds too slow on one. So he couldn't unlock all 3 chests. You can only unlock the first 2. So he had to keep running it so he can unlock the final chest.
Right.
But it's been interesting. So, yeah, Recore.
Nice.
On Game Pass. So check it out if you got some downtime.
Yeah.
My final game that I have played this week is Soul Hackers 2.
Hey, me too. I started that this week.
Here we go.
All right.
I have only played an hour of it because the intro is rough. the first hour of this game is pretty rough. It's well voice acted, it's well written, but like the beginning of this game is like, how do we define the internet? It's like, oh boy, okay, here we go.
What is a soul?
Yeah, and it's like I play JRPGs, so I'm more than willing to have this conversation. But
I have
there's a
played
lot
enough
of
JRPGs that I should have a master's in.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, masters in philosophy here.
Yeah. Not to downplay anyone that actually has a master's in
No,
philosophy.
but yeah, JRPGs really love to define what the soul is. So it's a pretty slow start. The voice acting is really well done. I really like the style. I really like Ringo's style, especially. I like her like neon green, yellow stuff under her hair.
I was thinking about that. That looks so cool, especially also with Figs, because her hairstyle is a little different. She's got the purple accent.
Yeah,
and just seeing that on her as well.
It's really neat. I like Ringo's jacket a lot. That has like changing like polygons on it that are all lit up. We were talking about it. You mentioned last week the first time Ringo pulls out like one of her weapons from her hip, she like pulls off the tattoo that she has and it turns into like a whip sword. Incredibly cool. Like that that's a really cool thing. It's really interesting because this game has a very low budget. Like this is not a Persona game in any form or fashion, but they have spent their money in ways that are really interesting, where like stylistically it looks really cool. It's a Unity game, so it runs really well. PS5, I have it in performance mode. It's locked to 60 and it looks pretty good. And like, but when you run into the stuff we were talking about last week, the Sabbath thing, where it's like their version of the all-out attack, that stuff doesn't look really great. Like some of the menus are kind of not super great looking, especially when you look at like Persona 5 and how readable those menus are. Soul Hackers 2 is not very much like that, but that's okay. This isn't
it's fine.
SMT. It's not Persona. Like this isn't the biggest budget game, but it's pretty cool. I'm excited to play more of it, especially because most people are saying they're finishing it in 20 to 25 hours, which is good. But it seems cool, and I'm glad I popped it in. And I talked about this yesterday on Pop. I haven't really felt like playing a lot of RPGs lately, so I put this in. I'm like, I need to sit down and I need to just start it and just play it and get going with it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I could play an RPG again now. Like I could do this.
Well, I was playing it today some. And I was kind of thinking while I was playing it, it's like this, even though it is a budget title, I feel like they budgeted it correctly.
Yes.
Because the voice acting, I'm doing English. Are you doing English as well?
I am, yeah.
Okay. The English voice acting is like solid.
It's very good. Yeah.
There hasn't been anything where I've just like, oh, that is just good guy, let's switch this over to Japanese.
Right, there hasn't been that one character where you're like, oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, like especially with Ringo, like the inflections that she has and the way that they've just timed it with her, like because the portraits, the lips move, but like they're not live portraits. It's just like a 2D characterization right there. But like you'll see her face kind of like change to like a wince on some things, and you can hear the inflection properly and all that. So they did really good with that, but
her voice actor's especially really good. She has, especially in the early game, she has a lot of lifting to do from a voice acting perspective just by herself, and she does a really great job.
But I am at the point where I have unlocked all of the Soul Matrix C's for all three of the characters that you have.
Right.
And these seem like these are going to be the infinite dungeons that you go into, where they're not necessarily story related. But it's just something for you to go into to increase your characters and help them out and get extra bonuses. And everyone, well, not everyone, but a lot of people complained about how it's all samey and it looks alike. And you know,
very like Tartarus and Persona 3. Yeah.
And how you can tell this is a budget game. And honestly, like I said, I feel that they spent their budget just right. And I don't need I don't need a 100-hour dissertation on what a soul is.
Right. I mean, we were talking about it on Pup yesterday too, about like, I'm okay with playing a Persona game for 100 to 150 hours. That's fine. But I also like Chrono Trigger because it's 15 to 20 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I like both of those. I'd be more than happy to play Soul Hackers 2 a number of times because I'm seeing a lot of people say that like you can't fill out all of the skills in the soul matrices in your first playthrough because there like isn't enough whatevers to get
Soul
all the way
points
through
or
it.
soul likes or whatever.
Yeah, so
soul
like
levels. There we go.
so you're gonna have to play multiple playthroughs, and I'm like, that's fine if this is like a 20-hour kind of in and out sort of thing. The next playthrough probably be 10 hours because I'll probably skip a whole bunch of the story stuff.
Yeah, I was
'cause
gonna
already
say
saw
you
it
just hold
before.
down fast forward or just skip altogether.
Yeah, exactly.
So playing with the dungeons, I have found that so you have to advance the story a certain amount of time and then you get random choices that will add, I don't know what they're calling, but basically points to a character, and these points are their soul level. And depending on how high their soul level is, depends on how far down you can go into their soul matrix.
Oh, okay.
Every time you get into a new level, you get to unlock a new, I think they called it Soul Command or something, where it's a new ability that you can unlock for that character who you were in. So like with Arrow, when you make it to his first floor, you have a choice of like these two skills. One of them permanently increases his luck by 2. The other one makes it so that way you can escape a dungeon at any time.
Wow, okay. So it's like
and
a stat or like an actual skill.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they don't seem to go away. If you pick one or the other, it shows you on the right-hand side what skills are coming up, just like with the demons or the personas, or however you want to phrase it.
Right.
So you can see if you pick like the luck one, it moves that one skill that allows you to warp out of the dungeons into the upcoming skills. So you're not picking either or permanently. It's just right now of these two choices, what do you want to take?
Yeah, you're like delaying one until the future.
Yeah, and it looks like, if the bar is to be believed, it looks like you can hold a ton of these. So just pick whatever seems to sound cool or will work out for your team at
There's
that
no
time.
downside to it seems.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I've come across, they've now added, I guess, like elite monsters, where the monsters are like these red, I don't know, things on the screen.
Yeah. They're like shadows from like Persona 3 and 4 almost.
Yeah, it's just they're all polygonal and whatever. But these elite ones are black.
Oh, okay.
And when you hit them with your sword, they do not get knocked back and they do not fall over.
Oh boy.
And they are, at least so far, about 8 levels higher than you.
Oh jeez. Okay.
So it's not an insurmountable thing where it's not like, Etrian Odyssey, where you find an elite beast and you bump into the first one by accident, you're just screwed.
You find an FOE and your run is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still run away from these.
Oh, okay.
Which I would highly recommend 9 times out of 10, because usually it's about like 5 of the same enemy, and it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
You can also save at any point in the dungeons as well.
Right.
So if you come across something like that you want to test out, save, and then run into them and see what happens, because they do not have, kind of the crappy thing, they do not have you died here, we're throwing you back into the world. It's either you get to use like this flame item thing that's very rare to revive yourself and restart that fight, or you just go back to the title screen.
Oh, okay.
Which doesn't bother me. There have been a couple of times where I've gotten through a battle and I'm like, I'm not going to make this. And I just exit the game, shut it down, and reopen it, because it's going to be faster than waiting for everything to kick back in.
Right.
Which brings up my pro tip. Boston, how do you feel about load times?
They are not great in this game, which is a bummer.
How would you love my pro tip to literally cut it down from 10 seconds to 1 second?
I would love that.
Go into settings and deselect, what was it, tips? Yeah.
Oh, sure. You can turn off loading screen tips.
Yeah. that's
Gotcha.
that's what's making the loading screen on, at least on PS5. I don't know about PS4 or anything, but on the
Yeah.
PS5, you turn
That's
those
great.
off and it literally goes from a 10-second load screen to 1 second.
You know, Horizon Forbidden West did the same thing too, where you could turn off a setting to like you can just auto skip tips, and it turned into like a millisecond load, and it's like, why are okay?
Yeah.
That's
So
weird,
Here is a tip. Have that tip in the tip screen.
right?
Yeah.
Or like it's a JRPG, they're tutorializing you for like the first 15 hours of a 20-hour game. You're gonna get these tips no matter what. Also,
there is
your suggestion about changing the camera was immediately apparent as soon as I started this game, and she's like over on the left, and the camera is way too close, and I'm like, nope, this
everything
is
just
not
felt
going to work.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah. So there is that. So that will make the game go a lot faster. I discovered that and changed it, and yes, it has changed my world so far.
Nice.
So,
I'll have to do that.
because like Moon was saying, it's a JRPG with tips, and also you have your own tip menu. So any tips that are going to show up on that
Right.
screen, if you really need to find them, go to the tip menu and look through all the tips that you have.
Yeah, it has like a encyclopedia thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also suggest too, I have finally gotten to the point where I can fuse the demons together now.
Nice.
Knock out, you can do like the labyrinths, whatever, but I got to the point where you can hold 12. I think it's 12 right now. I don't know if that'll increase later or not, but I was getting to the point where I was filling it up and I wasn't going to have any slots to take on new demons.
Right.
If you do the first, I think it's like 3 or 4 story missions, it will bring you into the next story set, which is bringing you to the carnival to get your fusions.
That was also the tip that Musum gave, where it's like, go do the circus. I did a whole bunch of other stuff instead of going there, and that's where you fuse demons. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
That has helped a lot with me because I did that same thing where I'm like 12 levels into each of these areas, and I'm like, I'm running out of demon space.
Right. This is getting rough, man. Yeah.
But yeah, I really just enjoy having my headset in, listening to music or something, and just playing this game without really thinking about it, and then shutting it off when
playing
story
a dungeon
starts.
crawler.
Yeah, start paying attention when the story starts back up. It's like, all right, cool. I've got 2 more things that I've read, and everything sounds cool. And let's go kill this next thing. So
right. Yeah, it seems good so far. I'm excited to really dive into it.
I do really enjoy how they're adding more motion with the demons.
Yes. Yeah.
Because generally with the 3D ones, because this is new that they're doing them in 3D, they've kind of just floated there, and they've had some motion, but not a whole lot. I came across this stupid little fox thing that looks like a cupid with a fox head.
Okay.
And it does this, it's got like a bow and arrow, and it does this little thing where it's floating in the air, and it starts wiggling its foot left and right, and it'll tap like the outside of its foot, the inside of its foot, and then it'll put that foot behind it, and it'll do that same motion. And it's like doing this stupid little dance while it's attacking you.
Right.
It's the dumbest thing ever. But I was like, oh, that's cool that they're adding this in now.
Yeah. Little improvements here and there.
Yeah. So Soul Hackers 2, really good. Really enjoying it so far. And that's all I've been playing this week.
I purchased Kirby's Dream Buffet, which is the new Kirby game on Switch that based on...
How many Kirby games have come out in the past year?
Based on Moon's squintiness has not been one he's heard of. This is...
Is it the car eaty one?
No, that's Kirby in the Forgotten Land. This is Kirby Fall Guys. It's...
Oh, now I remember. Okay.
It's
Kirby Mario Party.
fine. I think I was expecting it to be less shallow than it is, but it is largely kind of that same Fall Guys kind of multiplayer competition thing, except you can turn into different food-based versions of Kirby. I played a couple of matches and it's okay, but I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I was really hoping I would. My kid is a very big fan of Kirby, and she kind of was disinterested pretty quickly as well. So I don't think I'll be sticking with this one very much. It doesn't really have. I think it's charming. Like everything is made out of food and desserts and stuff. I really like seeing Kirby get real big. And
I was gonna say that big Kirby is pretty cute.
yeah, the big Kirby like busting the scales is pretty fun. The biggest Kirby at the end wins, which is pretty fun. But it's easy to directly compare it to something like Fall Guys, and it kind of doesn't have the same immediate wackiness and appeal that something like Fall Guys has. So I don't think it will stick.
Doesn't look like it has the same care.
It's really weird because like I feel like the formula seems pretty okay because it's like, yeah, you roll around as Kirby and you do Fall Guys competition stuff, and Kirby's super cute like usual. But there's something about it that just isn't immediately clicking with me like some of these other kind of competition multiplayer games do. So it's kind of a bummer. But it's like $15. So it's priced pretty okay. But also Fall Guys is free to play, so I mean, whatever. Yeah. My last game this week, 2 Point Campus. I am nearing the end of 2 Point Campus here. I have finally found the level that I hate, which is the musician campus. You do not get money for your students don't pay for classes, and you don't earn money based on your students' experience like you usually do every month. You only get $2,000 every time a student levels up.
So they're a bunch of hippies, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It sucks. I got 1 star as fast as I possibly could to unlock the next set of levels, and I got out of there as quickly as I could. I will have to go back at some point because I am only like 5 trophies away from the platinum, and I guess I will have to get 3 stars on all of the places, which will be fine. I did do one that I liked. There was an archaeology school that, much like night school, you were taking advantage of the grounds a lot to kind of do excavations. That one was kind of fun because you were highly encouraged to sell the relics that you got when you excavated them. And sometimes they were like a shopping trolley. You got $100 for it. Or like a treasure chest full of doubloons, and you got $50,000 for it. So the variation there was pretty fun.
The shopping trolley is like common as hell in England. You just have to go search around your local canal, and you'll find 100 of them.
Yeah, and like it's kind of funny because the way they're selling the campus is like, we're going to dig up a bunch of stuff underground, and we need you to tell us if it's really common or really rare, and we're going to sell the really rare ones. And I was like, oh, that's fair enough. And then you dig up a shopping trolley, and it's like, okay, so it's not all like a ruined tablet from the Vikings. Some of it is just like, here's a park bench that was underground for some reason.
Sometimes you just find a landfill.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they do this on location, or do they do it in the school?
So they do it. You're essentially taking big plots of land from your school and putting an excavation site there. And I actually really like what they do because as it progresses, your students dig down into the earth, and then they're clearing the way for like some sort of relic to be there. The thing that's really great is once they dig down to the bottom, you have the option of either picking up the relic and putting it in your campus to kind of increase the attractiveness of your campus, or you can sell it. And if you don't do anything by the time that they reset the excavation site, they sell it for you automatically. So you don't lose the relic that you've dug up. Like the amount of like fiddling you need to do is really low, which I really appreciate.
Okay, so they're taking it from the site of the school. They're not,
yes.
I don't know, being very British and stealing one artifact from other cultures.
You don't know where that school's located.
That's right. It is in the middle of the jungle, but so maybe they are doing that, but yeah, they're not like sending them off like on an expedition or anything.
They're
It
not
is
stealing
on
one column from Egypt, for example.
right.
Send your students out Assassin's Creed style, where it's like, oh, they
That's
just came
right.
back like at their 6-month term.
Right. I am doing some of the other schools have been pretty okay so far. The one that I'm doing right now is a spy school, which is pretty fun. And you're doing
Is Meta there?
God, no, thank you.
You're welcome. I
Yeah,
know how much you
appreciate
hate that. So I
psychic
figured
damage to me. What's fun is you're doing spy classes and cooking classes at the same time because you're the front of the school is like a fast food joint. So I like that they're kind of leaning into that aspect of it. The thing that's really neat about the spy school is every once in a while a rival spy school will send a mole in to try and mess up the education of your students. So you have to try and determine who the mole is in your school and expel them, which it has been kind of a learning experience to figure out exactly how you do that. And I think I finally have it figured out. And the other campus that I have unlocked that I haven't tried yet is a like future tech one. It's like a very forward looking thing. So I think I think last time I got 1 star, I unlocked 3 more campuses, and I think there's 1 more after that. And then there's a trophy that says earn 1 star in TPU, which I'm assuming is like the very last like mega campus that they kind of did in 2 Point Hospital, where it's like this hospital's gonna do everything. So I'm assuming that's gonna be the do everything campus.
best of luck.
Yeah, it's gonna be real spicy in this one. So we'll see how good I can make my campus. But I continue to enjoy it. I think I'm warming up to it the further I go in. And I think the variety of campuses you're doing has helped it a lot. It's not just here is a campus and now it's really cold. Here's a campus and now it's really hot. Here's a campus and you're not making money, that sort of thing. It's here's a campus and you're not making money because a witch hexed you and you need to train up for defense against the dark arts. Like they're having at least a little bit of fun with it. Like here's spy school, and of course another campus is gonna send spies in to mess up your students. So I like that, and I think that variety is kind of a big step up from 2 Point Hospital.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and it's on Game Pass, so if you have an Xbox, you should try it. It's good, and I think it makes a really good first impression. I think 2 Point Hospital, if you hadn't played the previous game from 1990, then I think it might have been a little bit hard to get into, but I think the tutorial for campuses so far have been pretty solid. But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yep.
Yeah. How hot is it now? 95. It's cooling off.
Well, is
Yeah.
it?
I mean, it isn't 100 plus, so technically. Oh man. I send a text here, and then I will be ready. And send. Got it. Okay. Are you guys ready for this?
Cleaning all the spots off of my monitor.
Fucking hate you, Boston.
Oh, I know. That's so good. Okay. Are you guys ready? Do. DMCA.
I totally watched the compilation of all the GameCube memes, by the way.
Oh,
That's
like
what
with
came back
the
into my head.
loading. Oh, that one's so good, man. It's so good. Okay. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of September 5th, 2022. Biomutant comes out on PS5 and series consoles. This is getting a native current-gen version. Everybody seemed to like that fine when it came out last year.
Yeah, I have a PS4 version of it, and I haven't talked about it on the show because I'm still trying to figure out if I want to talk about it or not.
Figure out how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It seems like it has a lot of systems in it that maybe didn't need to be in it, is what I seem to remember.
Yeah.
But it does have a free upgrade to PS5, is my understanding as well.
Nice. Yeah.
So
nice. Temtem comes out on PS5, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This is the Pokemon-alike MMO sort of collecting animals thing that's been in beta for 2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
They've been working on it pretty steadily, and it sounds like it's really solid. So I feel like if you're interested in this, you're probably already playing it anyway. But it has always seemed pretty neat, and everyone who's gotten into it is like, yeah, this is solid. This is really good. A game by the name of Jack Move comes out on PC this week. Comes out PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on the 20th. I found this because I was looking through releases on for PUP, and this game looks pretty neat. It's like a turn-based RPG cyberpunk thing where you're kind of installing and using mods and programs in a battle system with some really cool looking pixel art.
Wow, that looks like some Sega Genesis stuff right there.
It really does. Like if you have
curious, like looks very unique, I will say.
Yeah, not a lot of things we have seen like this for a couple of generations of consoles. This Jack Move looks pretty cool. I would really recommend checking out a trailer for that. That comes out on PC this week. Comes out later this month on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Steel Rising, all one word, comes out on PS5, series consoles, and PC this week. It bills itself as an upcoming Souls-like adventure set in a chaotic alternate history of Paris in the 1700s. So stylistically looks kind of neat. It's a Souls-like, so you really know what you're getting into at this point, and you know if that's your jam or not.
And it's made by Spider Interactive.
Oh,
so because I have a weird
I missed that.
relationship with this company, I will be checking it out probably next summer.
Yeah. So check out a future episode where we check out Steel Rising. Yeah, I hope that's good. I'd like Spider to get a hit here once. NBA 2K23 comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. Again, we are not the show for sports, so find your news on the quality of that elsewhere.
Excuse me. Talk to yourself, please. I am the show for sports.
There you go.
I am the show.
That's right. That's right.
Well, when's Joe Random going into NBA 2K23?
I was gonna say, as long as those sports are soccer and wrestling.
Is there a betting controversy? Because then he could check out some basketball. Splatoon 3 comes out on Switch this week. That looks cool. I have not played a Splatoon game. I would probably like those. I know the big thing is that you can play Salmon Run whenever you want, which seems like a really great improvement. And those games look cool. Splatoon seems neat.
I know a lot of people may be like, but Nemp, it took you 80 hours in 3-4 months in Elden Ring to get to 80 hours, and you did Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 91 hours in a month.
Right.
Yeah, this is why I had to get the Switch back into the living room.
That's right. Your kids are tapping their watch like, Dad, it's coming. It's the squids are coming.
It's the kids and the wife.
Okay. Yeah, the whole family loves the squids.
Too,
yeah. And last but certainly not least, the game that I am the best at, BPM Bullets Per Minute, comes out on the Switch. I am undeniably top of the speedrunning extraordinaire. I'm just so bad at that game, but it's very good. It's a first-person shooting roguelike where you shoot and dodge and reload on the beat to some very good heavy music. It's great. Highly recommended.
No NFT shilling vocalists in this one, folks.
Most importantly, yes, no NFT. It's just the worst. All right, let's move on to our news story this week. Ubisoft announces their new Assassin's Creed after a hot day of everything leaking in this game.
So I have to do a behind the scenes here really quick.
Sure, please do.
I adore your show notes, Boston. I appreciate it every week because I've got no idea what we'd talk about otherwise. Please see 2 weeks ago for an example of that. Your show notes this week tickled me because I was like, oh, news stories. Ubisoft announces new AC after major leaks. 1.1 Assassin's Creed Mirage. Okay, I guess that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think
there's
to
a big
myself,
blank
scroll
space
down,
right?
Because the
I did the
image broke
same
the screen.
stupid thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the page break and I was like, oh, that's okay. Whatever.
That's it.
Thought there was a
Short
lot
and
of news,
short
but I
and
guess
sweet,
not.
baby. Yeah. So Ubisoft has announced Assassin's Creed Mirage. They shared the key art for it, which certainly seems like it's harkening back to an Assassin's Creed 1 style thing. They said that we can't wait to tell you more on September 10th at Ubisoft Forward, 9 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Pacific. They're sort of billing it as the follow-up to Valhalla. It's set in 9th century Baghdad. It was originally set as an expansion to Valhalla. Basim, is that the guy from Valhalla?
I put 200 hours into that game. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just googled him. I know who you're talking about now.
Don't
I think it's
Google
Basim,
who he is.
But
Yeah.
I can't say anything else.
I have had it spoiled for me. Don't Google this dude unless you are not going to play Valhalla for 100% for sure.
Valhalla?
Me? No.
Okay.
What do I have, like 200 more hours? I don't know. I mean, probably if I'd stop playing Destiny. Anyways, it's going to be featuring Basim, and seemingly because it is originally a expansion to Valhalla, it's going to be a smaller world and focus more on stealth gameplay, which I like the two of those things together, especially the smaller world option. My non-completion of Valhalla.
I'll say a smaller world, and according to a bunch of leaks, it's not supposed to have any of like the leveling or like the equipment rarity stuff. It's just supposed to be, which I had thought, and I haven't been paying attention to news for Assassin's Creed that much, but I thought they said that the next one was supposed to be like the platform, like from here on out.
Because that's my question: is the next big one they've been talking about is Assassin's Creed Infinite? Is that the
something
platform
like that.
one? That seems like if they're spinning this thing often, they've been more than happy to say, all right, Valhalla, you guys like that? It's a solid game. It's a solid engine. We're just going to keep putting more stories into this, and you already own it. So, what's $10 more for a new story? The fact that they're spinning this off into another thing, I wonder if that is a bit of a signal here that maybe Assassin's Creed Infinite is not doing great. Shocker from a Ubisoft game. Maybe development isn't going well.
Or, I mean, depending, since they said this is going to be a smaller scale one, maybe this one comes out at a budget price instead of like a AAA price. And this is
I would certainly.
I know.
I would certainly like that. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like a gap.
There's a chance.
Like, okay, yeah, this is popular enough that we can do like a small little spin-off game while we're still working on
Ubisoft will say
game.
Like, okay, we agree. We'll put this album for 65 instead of 70. You're welcome. We're very generous. But that's right. Yeah. Only if you pre-order it. And then
I can see the rainbow without believing in it. Okay.
That's right. I like your optimism. I do appreciate it. So I think this one's interesting because I think we'll be seeing this, on Saturday for the Ubisoft Forward. So I'm hoping they'll show at least something kind of meaty for this game. But I think I am certainly not the only one that is feeling not tired of how Assassin's Creed is going right now, but the prospect of playing another 100 plus hour Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game feels like something I'm not interested in. So you want to give me a shorter one and maybe do a little bit more stealth stuff? I think that's something I could pretty easily get behind. So we'll see. We'll see when this is going to come out. I'm assuming it's not going to come out this year because they're probably going to start pushing Skull and Bones here pretty soon, because I think that comes out in November.
I think they said that they were announcing stuff about that on the 10th as well.
Oh, more stuff. Okay.
I think it's either then or there's some big junket that they're doing that they were announcing stuff, but it was sometime in September, I believe.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming this won't come out this year. I would be pretty surprised, but it would not be the first time that they have sent a sailing game off to die for seemingly no reason. But we'll see. We'll probably cover that, I guess, next week, because it'll happen here before the show. So check in next week's episode. But that's all the news stories we have. It continues to get hotter in this room. This heat wave really sucks. So we're going to wrap up this episode now. Appreciate everybody for listening. You can visit us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including a link to the Patreon page, patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are the digits, folks.
We sincerely appreciate anybody that's supporting us. You can get us closer to the $250 a month goal, the overall patronage goal. That means that I get to play some spooky, scary stuff in my house after my family has probably gone to sleep. That doesn't sound terrifying at all. Yeah, is with my howling screams will wake my families up. So you can get that over there on the Patreon page. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. The best way to support us is by sharing on social media, giving us a like Moon just did on the video version on our YouTube channel. Word of mouth is huge for anything that you watch or listen to, including this show. And we sincerely appreciate all of your support. And we thank you for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 Ah, refreshing water. That's the good stuff. All right, Nimp. What titles do you have?
I have Crab Steering, Infinite Ejector Seats, Feel the Burn of Rerolling, and Volition Volatile Makes Me Laugh.
I'll write down Feel the Burn of Rerolling.
I have the two just in with the pain of rerolling.
Or the pain.
Feel the pain of rerolling. Okay. All right, Moon, what do you have?
AKA Capitalism. 6 essays long. Ejecto Cito Cuz. The Pain of Rerolling. The Purple Suit Mafia. Xeno Tree Saga. Here's a Tip. And a bunch of hippies.
I have W for Wesker, Crab Steering, Infinite Ejector Seats, Feel the Pain of Rerolling, and 6 essays long. I feel like the Feel the Pain of Rerolling is kind of our obvious one here.
Yeah.
That's got my vote. I like that one a lot. I think it's funny as hell.
I got it. Or I got something already.
All right. I'll circle it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Put on your wizard hat. Feel the power of Orange Cassidy flow through you.
I might have lost it if you had just randomly pulled out a wizard hat for no reason.
I was really waiting for him to pull out like a Yensid hat and be like, all right, it's my time to shine. Boop.
If I knew where the poop hat was, that would live there instead.
It's true.
I don't
my
know
poop
where
hat
that
is right here in the hallway. You know, where you keep your poop hat. Now I'm going to have to wear it next week just so everyone can be like, you have a, sorry, what hat? What do you...
Yeah,
what
go look up Isaac.
That's right. Put that poop right on your head.
Oh, happy belated birthday, Boston, as well.
Thank you.
By the
Thank
way,
you. Appreciate it.
which I did blast on Twitter and then promptly tell the Discord people about it and
That's right.
try and bring as much attention to it as I can.
I'm not going to tell anyone, so it falls to another.
I know. I do the same thing every year myself.
Right.
It's like, I ain't telling anyone jack.
That's right. My secret has been outed. LARPing.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 776 for September 5th, 2022. Feel the pain of Rerolling.
Snake eyes all the way down.
You do know strength isn't a dump stat for wizards, right? And your proficiencies are all over the place. You're going to have to re-rank these.
You're such a dork.
I thought
Dude,
you
I
were going to
played
do like a
D&D.
magic
Come
missile
on.
thing. Like magic missile. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. Greatly appreciate it. I hope we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.